As steel shapes steel, the spirit shapes the soul. HOI. Iron sharpens iron.
Plantation. 9 to 5 be the time I was wasting. Man, I feel like I need a vacation. Saving up for my resignation. Why I feel like my manager hating. Ain't the one for no verbal castration. This government ain't giving reparation. We'll go to crime trying to fight the temptation.
Rejoice in tribulations, demonstrate patience in every situation, picking up the pieces to their heart restoration. People broken hearted and in need of salvation. We in captivity, we done lost our history. Disconnected from his laws, now there's no integrity. Here's the book and let them see, because they dying in these streets. Walking in darkness and where the carcass is, the eagles be. Walking in darkness and where the carcass around us like vultures. Murder on their mind when they approach us. Let your light shine, watch them scatter like roaches. Babylon falling cause we taking back our culture. Heal our land, Abba now put us back in agriculture. This word burning them up, Romans is a flamethrower. We prophesy destruction, nukes coming, game over. International, continental, ballistic missile. Them bombs dropping like rain, no drizzle. The lake of fire make them sizzle. Showing fruits of the spirit, we don't gather figs of thistles.
That's the dog, you know, so just like you were saying, right?
Hey, my name is Amani Bright Laws. I'm a travel business owner. My business is Always Shine Bright Travel, where we help you discover your next bright destination. I want to talk to you really quickly today about becoming a travel business owner. Listen, if your passion is traveling, if your passion is exploring the world, if your passion is wanting to travel and explore the world, then you should become a travel business owner, okay? I have 2 easy ways to get started. Less than 1 minute, okay? The first way, up here, our website, travelagentworkshop.com. And please use my sponsor ID, Always Shine Bright, okay? The second way is a text code. Text the word workshop to the number 281-767-9711. And again, reference my sponsor ID, Always Shine Bright, okay? Listen. The workshop is free. It's a free 3-day workshop, which gives you all the information on how to get started to become a travel business owner. Okay. Any questions that you have will get answered within that workshop. Okay. So let me meet you on the money making side of travel, where you can turn your passion into your paycheck.
Y'all know what time it is. It's your boy Chef D Nail. over here at Guess Who's Cooking. Good cooking, good eating, good living. Y'all know how we do it every Sunday about this time, man. We're going to get straight to it. We got the chicken and dumplings, all right? We got the perch fish with the mac and cheese, with the yams, with the 5 cheese toast over here on the Texas side. And of course, we got the world famous turkey tips, all right? We also got, on this one, we got the greens with the turkey tails, and we got the spaghetti. You already know what time it is, man. Hit the link, 773-992-4737 is the phone number to place your order every Sunday, all right? And you can hit us up on the Cash App to make payments at Guess Who's Cooking, the number 2. All right. You can hit the www.guesswho'scooking on the World Wide Web. You can catch us on Facebook Marketplace under Guess Who's Cooking. And, of course, on TikTok, man, at Guess Who's Cooking. Come on down. Get your orders.
Give me shame, I give you peace from underneath. Give me mind and be in light to reignite. Can you open up the doors to let me in? Can you open up the doors to let me in? You could put the heart inside, don't top my head. As I sing the love inside from out my mouth. Tell me what you need to find. Tell me now. Tell me what you need to find.
Philadelphia,
Philly, Philly,
home of brotherly love. We see you,
Philly.
Come on. Yeah. Asha, represent for Philly. A strong shout out, brotherly love to my brothers from Philly. Greetings, it's your brothers from New York City. Home of the cream of the team of the baseball Phillies. We got Howard the Powers, they don't flowers, that's the lilies. We not smoking no Phillies, but enduring these curses. Philadelphia, one of the 7 holy churches. New York, see them, when we see the brothers, we greet them. Oh, the Rocky Steps, Philadelphia Museum, Rittenhouse Square, Liberty Bell, Roosevelt Mall, downtown Philly, neighborhood near the City Hall, lay in the cut, stay in the cut, straight off the edges. And now it's on the highways and byways and the hedges. Holding the fort, down with support, without the shackles. It's Philadelphia in New York, the rotten apple. Gathered with together brothers, we lock it down. In the city of brotherly love, what's the hometown? Philadelphia, the state that's known for the Philly cheesesteaks that be right across over the Franklin Bridge from New Jersey to Philly. We in it's H-O-I-N-Y and H-O-I Philly, H-O-I Philly, H-O-I Philly, H-O-I Philly, and New York City. See your Howard shot up above, and H-O-I-N-Y-J in Philly, brotherly love. Shalom to my mighty brothers, power to Israel. The Passover last year was in New York City. This year we celebrated in the home of Philly. Feeling the Philadelphia vibe, the tribe's feeling it. Keeping the law, statutes, commandments, and we living it. Remember the Passover coming out of Egypt, the house of bondage, caught and brought into slave ships. Eat the unliving bread, the lamb, the bitter herbs, the wine, the blood of Yahweh Shai. What is the word? Represent the ancestors, the captivity, the history, the chronology, and the prophecies. Rehearse the righteous acts, that be the dilly. It's H-O-I Philly and New York City. We in Philadelphia, the state is known for the Philly cheesesteaks that be right across over the Franklin Bridge from New Jersey to Philly. We in H-O-I-N-Y and H-O-I Philly, H-O-I Philly, H-O-I Philly, H-O-I Philly, and New York City.
Yo, how about in Philly with the hood, packing Mac Billy, strap illy. If you acting hard, you can clap silly. They get the truth in the booth, eating bad Philly, posted mad videos for the Howard like a rap city. Hammer leg getting mad, then your menopause. Caught the Howard through the people like a dinner floors. But I'm getting mad, nigga, you my wash pot. I want my fried rice cooked in a crock pot. We love Philly, bring the scriptures out non-stop. Hold on, keep it, hit the word that their heart stop. If a Habasha was back here on earth today, it used Philly to a seat that crack vertebrae. Murder rate, deep Philly soft, you gon' know today. I pray the Lord for the words that I heard today. Got my spirit sharp, moving like a bird of prey. I pray the Most High, and you wanna turn away. Like a lighter, hope my elders get worth away. H-O-I, man, I'm screaming cause I mean it. Can't bring a heat to the devil, he's anemic. Raising up the army of the Howard is strategic. World War III, like a fire, it's the scenic. H-O-Y to the chariots fly. Little Philly gonna scream until America die. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Philadelphia, the state is known for their Philly cheesesteaks that be right across over the Franklin Bridge from New Jersey to Philly. We in it's H-O-I-N-Y and H-O-I Philly, H-O-I Philly, H-O-I Philly, H-O-I Philly, and New York City.
Good. That man, listen. Always gets me hype. Always gets me hype. You know what I'm saying? Shayar, Maka Allah, look, New York, man, they got some spitters in New York, man. You know what I mean? HOI got some spitters in New York, man. You know what I mean? But without further ado, all right, this lesson is gonna be called Fury Upon the Heathens. Man, are they catching all matters of hell right now. You know what I mean? All praise and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Let's start there. We're giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Kom Yasha Allah, rise Israel. Okay. Double honors to our elders. Still waking up the lost sheep of the house of Israel in these obvious last days. Okay. I'm gonna be teaching the class tonight. My name is Kasadia, and my swordsman is Khan. Can't really hear you too good, King. Mic check.
Yo.
Khan. Okay. Khan. That's better. All right. Khan. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, so you know what I mean, we're gonna get into it, without further ado. It's a lot, the heathens are they're on the ropes, you know what I mean? It's like a Rocky movie where Rocky don't get up, you know what I'm saying? He's getting punch drunk, he's about to fall, but he punches him back up, you know what I mean? It's looking bad. Not just for Esau. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about the heathen. They all had us in captivity, so the Most High got something for them, okay? But we're going to start with the Lord's Prayer in Paleo Hebrew. You can find this in Matthew chapter 6, verse 9 through 13. And thus, Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malachwaka, Saba'ah, Ratazayaka, Haya, Aisha, Baratazah, Kawa, Aya, Bashamayim, Nadananawa, Lacham, Cow, Yawam, Wasalaf Nawa, Kabawaf Nawa, Kasalaf Nawa, Kabawafi Nawa, Wala'a, Thabi Nawa, Banasai 1, Abal, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwaf, Wa'ala, Wata Palaraf, Labulamyam, Aman. Khan, okay. So we said it already before, but needs to say it again. Esau don't be following the rules. So fair use act. Video is protected by a fair use act. It's a class. So being protected by the Fair Use Act. Let's get it started. Let's start with Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 1. It's a rough one. It's a rough one on the heathens, and I'm good with that. All praises. All right. And when you got that, King, you could bring it out. Are you on mute, King?
Salakia. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 34 and verse 1. Start from the top. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it.
God, so this isn't just, we always talk about Babylon. Now, of course, Babylon's going to catch it. You know what I mean? Babylon is catching it. Their birth rate, it's very important to talk about. You know what I'm saying? This is nothing that, mortal man can do. You know what I mean? To close the womb up of a whole group of people. You know what I'm saying? And that's the Edomites. So Babylon is catching it. And but we cannot forget this is all over. You know what I mean? His fury is upon all their armies. Okay. Indignation of the Lord is upon all nations. Okay, so when we're gonna check out the videos and stuff, you're gonna see that Ham's catching it. You know what I mean? They're catching it down there in the Philippines. They're catching it. European nations, they're not procreating as well. Okay, but you have ferries flipping over. You know what I mean? In the Nile River, people perishing. This is a global dismantling of nations, plural, of people. Okay. Can you read verse 2?
For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter.
Khan. Okay. So once again, all nations, all their armies, the Most High is upset. What nation didn't have us in captivity? You know what I'm saying? So that's a lot of people, and he got time. You know what I'm saying? He got time. Shalom, everybody that's on the class. You know what I mean? Most High got time. We say, man, I got time today. You know what I mean? He's taking them out, left, right, and every other direction. Okay. All right, let's go to Micah chapter 5, verse 15. So the idea of Christianity is like, when Christ comes back, we're gonna be holding hands, a lot of hugs and handshakes. People gonna be eating ice cream. You know what I mean? Ice cream, fried chicken, and candy corn. Cotton candy, Twinkies, and all that. It's gonna be a marvelous time in the eyes of Christianity. But the reality, you have to read the prophecies. These prophecies haven't come to pass. All of them haven't come to pass. And if you have ears to hear, eyes to see, that a lot of these prophecies are double. When it talks about ancient Babylon, it talks about modern day Babylon. If you got ears to hear, okay? And eyes to see. Go ahead, King, you can bring it out.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 5 and verse 15. I will execute vengeance and anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard.
Yeah, they don't even know. This is totally, you know what I mean, out of their realm of comprehension. They have no idea what's going on, why this is happening. As we speak, if you're watching this live or if you watch it later, United States is extremely close to bombing Iran and starting pretty much World War III, because they're not just going to do a quick strike and get out. And even if they did, Iran said, look, you hit us, we hit your military bases. That's fair. You know what I mean? And Tel Aviv is going to be turned into a parking lot. They always threatening Amalek, but it's real close. There are, I think, like 112 aircrafts on their way there, fighter jets, aircrafts. There's 2 aircraft carriers in the region. I think it's the George Bush and I'm not sure the other one. Maybe the Abraham Lincoln. I'm not sure. But 2 aircraft carriers is significant. You know what I'm saying? One aircraft carrier was next to Venezuela, and they did launching from there and, kidnapped the president and his wife, Maduro and his wife. And now it's in the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? One thing that's different, though, is that Iran has hypersonic missiles who can hit these aircraft carriers and sink them with the 25,000 soldiers on board, rather. So we're looking at some crazy times that we're living in. And he said this what happened, vengeance and anger and fury upon the heathens, such as they have not heard. So let's buckle up. Let's buckle up and get ready. Let's get to the first scripture of the, with the videos attached. Let's get to 2nd Ezra chapter 5 and verse 1. Okay. Let's read the scriptures and then we're gonna get to the videos. And this is, ham, Swiss cheese. Ham is getting Swiss cheesed. Ham is getting destroyed out here. They go back and forth. Foundational Black Americans, you guys are Africans, you're this, that, and the third. The Lord is catching up with Ham. You know what I mean? He's they're destroying each other. There are a lot of civil wars out there. You know what I mean? Esau will fund one side, give them a bunch of guns, just like they do with the Crips and the Bloods, right? But now it's their turn. Okay, go ahead. Can you bring it out?
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5 and verse 1. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the days shall come, that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of the truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith.
So taken in a great number where bullets are taking out a massive amount of people. Now, granted, these bombs will do the job as well. And that's why America is allegedly sending over tactical nuclear missiles, tactical nuclear bombs to Iran. You know what I'm saying? So they're talking about nuking Iran. You know what I mean? So it's kind of where we're at, like we could, and it would be a great distraction from the E-Files. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say the name, you know what I'm talking about, because the people that run the social media accounts are the ones that are in there. So to not mess up the algorithm, we're just going to call them the E-Files. They are, it's so much information that's coming out, and they didn't release 3.5 million other parts of the file, that now is a good time for a large war where you can forget that the president of the United States is in those E-Files over 1 million times. You know what I'm saying? Not only does this dude have 34 felonies, he is in these files over 1 million times. All right, so let's watch the next. Khan. I live in a military base. Shalom, sis. I live in a military base and we're seeing a lot of planes recently. Yes, it is. We are in that time. You know what I mean? We are most certainly in that time. So let's see what's going on in Nigeria.
Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has deployed the army to the western Kwara state, where suspected jihadists killed scores of villagers, torched buildings, and abducted dozens of people earlier this week. The Red Cross said that at least 160 people have been killed. Nigeria faces worsening armed violence across the region. At least 21 people were killed in a separate assault in Katsina State in northern Nigeria. And for more, we are joined by Lagos Bureau Chief Amaka Okie. Thank you so much for joining us. What's the latest that we need to know? We understand that the search for bodies is still ongoing. What challenges are the first responders facing?
Yeah, that's right. Like you did mention, the numbers are increasing, by the day, because all through yesterday we've been in touch with the village head and people, and they're still removing bodies from, the bushes, because they're in different places in different parts. And the difficulty is there are places that they didn't realize there are bodies, and so they are retrieving more bodies and continued burying it yesterday, which is really also very tough for the people. I mean, the challenges will be that these are people, most of them have more than one unknown persons have been killed, family members. We're talking of people's mothers, children. Some of them also have their family members taken away, but in spite of that, they need to bury the dead, isn't it? So it's been emotionally difficult for the people. And for a place like Kwara that's never experienced, or not usually the hotspot, this is also coming as a shock. And the fear is even more palpable there in Kwara today.
So, as you can see, you know what I mean, 160, more than 160 in West Nigeria. You know what I mean? So Ham is getting payback for grabbing us up and bringing us over here. You know what I'm saying? And look, you see the bureau correspondent. She got the Gordon Cottrell on. You know what I'm saying? Got the one collar in and the one collar out. Like, that was a joke back in the Cosby Show, but she really took that thing serious. We're going to keep it moving.
We understand that the government has launched a new military operation. Are people confident that the government can contain the extremist threat?
True. I mean, yesterday the governor was with the president, and this new military formation is Operation Savannah, I reckon. And whereas people are saying, yes, it's good to have the military presence there, but it's not really enough assurance, because if you put it also in context for people, Kwara State is one of the big states we have in Nigeria, and it has a lot of ungoverned spaces. And so just having military formation in one place is not enough. One would have thought that after the kidnap of in Eruku, the same state last year, that more military and security presence would have been there before now. So it's looking more like a reaction, and what would have been done. So the people are hopeful, but it's just not enough. As we say, hope is not a strategy. They want to really get the reassurance that they are safe, and these bandits, these terrorists, these jihadists will not be a target again, will not target them, because this did not just come out of the blue. They were warned, the letters were sent, the security, the village head talked to security, but nothing happened up until this tragedy that we saw, and now this military formation is just not enough for the people.
I'd like to look at a separate incident, because last month 166 Christians were abducted in a church. Yesterday, the news broke that they had been released. Talk with us, about how the reaction has been to that, and whether there is a sense of hope surrounding that.
Yeah, I mean, someone were talking earlier with people from the place and saying, oh, so people are hopeful. And, it's not, they're not hopeful. This is not a glimmer of hope. In fact, what would be a glimmer of hope, or what would bring hope to Nigerians, is to see that people are not abducted. It just looks like this is some sort of choreography. You take people, there's some arrangement that, of course, the government is not telling us, and then they release them. If you see the pictures, they had them dressed in, this clothes, and just, it's like you parade people, you traumatize them, they get traumatized in the bushes, they don't have food, and then they bring them back again. What exactly should people be excited or happy about? It just points into the general picture of how the security situation in Nigeria is deteriorating by the day. In just 1 week, like you mentioned, there's been killing in Katsina, there's been the one that's happened, of course, now in Kwara, and there are so many other places that, of course, media is not even able to report on. So it just gets, the situation gets more frightening. Every day as a Nigerian, you wonder, where next? What next? Where is this going to happen? Where are we going to see another abduction? And it's just increasing, and unfortunately so, yeah.
Amaka Okoye, thanks so much for putting that into the broader picture for us, DW.
Okay, so as we can see, Ham is being abducted. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Does that history repeating itself, but on the shoes on the other foot? Seems to be that way. I know you're saying Nigeria has some Israelites there, a real small group of Igbos in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, about 450. Most High willing they were safe. You know what I'm saying? Most High willing they are protected. You know what I'm saying? But the looks like the shoes on the other foot. Looks like the fury is upon the heathens. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. So Ham's catching a bit of hell, let's go over and see what Elam and Ishmael are going through. Okay, let's get Genesis chapter 16, verse 11, because Ishmael's wilding right now. Now in Pakistan, you have a significant amount of Ishmaelites and Elamites. You know what I mean? It's not just one group in that whole country, but the Muslims over there are pretty much getting blown up. Okay, let's bring that out, King. Genesis
This
16.
is the book of Genesis, chapter 16 and verse 11. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction.
Okay, so we're talking about Ishmael. Can you read the next verse?
And he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren.
So Ishmael right now, you know, we say, you know, what they say, assalamu alaikum, bloom. You know what I'm saying? They will blow themselves up in a heartbeat to prove their point. They think they're getting 72 virgins up there in the kingdom, in the heavens, but the reality is, nah, they're not. You're not invited. There's no gate for Ishmael, so it is what it is. Heathens definitely have a ticket to the cotton field. You know what I'm saying? You got a ticket to in the slavery, because let's not forget the sub-Saharan slave trade is vicious and it's still going on. They still have slaves over there in Dubai. They'll snatch your passport in a minute and put you to work. You know what I'm saying? But in the sub-Saharan slave trade, getting brothers from Negro land and Judah over there in West Africa, they made them walk through the Sahara Desert. If they weren't walking fast enough, they'll cut their Achilles tendons and have them bleed out. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we are with Ishmael. Very cruel, very proud too. Ishmaelites are very proud. They feel that their Quran has never been changed. So allegedly, it's never been changed. So their God is the right God, so to speak. There's not too much stuff in the Quran, not a lot of meat in there, a lot of plagiarism, you know what I'm saying, from the scriptures. With that being in mind, let's see what's going on in Pakistan. Okay. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's continue on. Let's get this algorithm popping, y'all.
We have some breaking news now from Pakistan, where a suicide bomb attack on a Shia mosque in Islamabad has killed at least 31 people. At least 170 others have been injured. Police and rescue teams are at the scene. Local hospitals have declared emergencies in response to the attack. And we're going to bring in now our Pakistan correspondent, Kamal Haider, who joins us now on the phone. Kamal, what more can you tell us about the blast and the rescue operation that's underway?
Well, first of all, Friday is normally congregational prayers with more people in attendance. This attack took place just literally on the outskirts of the city, but within the capital territory jurisdiction, outside a Shia mosque, which is known as an Imam Bargah in this area. The suicide bomber tried to enter into that mosque. However, he was stopped outside. That is when he detonated his device with devastating effect and causing heavy casualties. Now, most of the injured have been moved to the local nearest hospitals. Many have been placed. An emergency has been declared in those hospitals. And of course, the government has said that this is once again an attack that has been carried out by what Pakistan said TTP or foreign elements who are using Afghan soil. They have mentioned that as well. So at the moment, the death toll, of course, likely to rise because the number of people, as you mentioned, is quite high.
Now, Kamal, this also comes amid a surge of violence in recent months and just after a Pakistani military operation in Balochistan. What is the security situation like in the country right now?
Well, the security situation is precarious. Pakistan, of course, if you remember, had clashes with Afghan forces across the border. Pakistan has been telling the Afghan authorities, that is the Afghan Taliban, that they must do more to restrain these groups. Pakistani intelligence believes that these groups have sanctuaries in Afghanistan, that they are using some of the weapons that have been left behind by the withdrawing U.S. forces from Afghanistan, sophisticated weapons, and the fact that they are able to cross what is a porous border. Pakistan has a 2,600 kilometer long border with Afghanistan. It is a porous border, and both the Baluch Liberation Army as well as the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan are able to go back to their safe havens inside Afghanistan, and then are able to carry out these audacious attacks across Pakistan. The latest attack, of course, that has taken place today carries the hallmark of the Islamic State, Khorasan. This is elements of Daesh, which have always targeted Shia worshippers, not just here in Pakistan, but also in...
Now, okay, now I see that this is inside the mosque, Salakia. See, this is inside the mosque, and obviously something just exploded, causing all the dust to rise. I get that. But when you go outside, you know what I mean? Like, why are they so dusty? Do you know what I'm saying? Why are they so dusty? Because, you know, you would think coming over here and like, you know, putting their nose up, you know, at us. And if you're like a black Muslim, right? If you're an Israelite that thinks you're a Muslim, I've seen it plenty of times here in Philly. They will say, you know, a brother will say, Assalamu alaikum. And they like barely want to say, this is really, if they're, you know, have a business, they're like, all right, I guess it's, you know, I gotta get this nigga my, you know, this nigga's about to pay some money here. So, you know, alaikum salam. You know what I mean? Like, it's really, you know, like they're pulling teeth to say, you know, greeting. So they come up here and they really thumb their nose at us. But why is it so dusty over there? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like almost, you see the guys over there, if you go like this to their shoulder, like all this dust, a cloud of dust will come out. And I was thinking like, maybe you should, before you leave out the house, just dust your clothes so you wouldn't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? You know, let me know in the comment section, do you see them as being extremely dusty? Did you see that? Or is that just me? It could be me. Could be me. I'm not saying in the mosque. I understand bomb went off and, you know, there's dust everywhere. But outside, it seemed everybody was dusty. You know, paved roads, maybe, no. All right, let's continue on.
Afghanistan.
All right, our Pakistan correspondent Kamal Haider reporting live for us. Kamal, thank you.
All right, Kamal reporting live. Okay. Yeah, so this is just kind of getting out of hand. If you see what I'm saying, you peep what's going on. This is kind of getting out of hand. You know, it's kind of getting out of hand. Look at what is happening throughout the four corners. It is what it is. These are the two major factions of heathens that had our ancestors in captivity, had them in derision, continue to thumb their nose and take full advantage of the children of Israel. Oh, I'm black just like you. I'm black just like you. Here, buy this oil. You know what I'm saying? Oh, assalamu alaikum. Here, would you like to buy? You know, I have good shoes for you. Good shoes, good gear for you. Right? And then in the back of their mind, like, I can't stand these niggas. You know, so still taking advantage of us financially, still, like I said earlier, have us in captivity physically. So look at the Most High putting fury upon the heathens. Now let's talk about Esau. Esau is being exposed every week that we come on here. It is looking worse and worse. The things that they say when they think it's private is unbelievable. The things they do and talk about is unbelievable, and we're gonna talk about it. You might not be hearing a lot about it in America, unfortunately, right? Because America is, the great Satan. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, "Oh, okay, so what? You had a pedophile ring going to an island and chopping up people and eating them and all that. There's nothing really wrong with that. Let's start a war." But other places are like, "Look, you can't. I don't even want to be sitting around you. So you're fired." So a lot of people are getting fired. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 19, verse 3. A lot of people are losing their jobs, being ostracized and put on the outskirts of society. Like, yo, that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? What you're doing to children. But America justifies it. They're like, "Oh, MAGA for life. So what? It happens all the time. What about the Catholic Church? This is an American way." Very disgusting. So the Lord's going to destroy these people. All right. Isaiah, you can bring it out, King.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, and verse 3. "And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the chairmen, the Shalaki, the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards."
The council's failing. Where do we go from here? We're in a lot of trouble. Everything that we said, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, but we didn't tell the world that we're making sacrifices to deities, Baphomet, Baal, and Molech and all these other deities. We didn't tell them that. We said we worked real hard instead of going to the middle of the woods at 3 o'clock in the morning and sacrificing children and chickens and anything else they could find. You know what I'm saying? Sacrificing their loved ones to get higher up. Being part of Skull and Bones and having to lay in a casket with a dead body. We didn't tell you had to do that to get billions of dollars. We said you had to work real hard to get that American dream. Now it's being exposed. Now people are reading for themselves like, yo, these guys are gone. So the Most High destroyed their council's gone. Their facade is gone. They're going to the idols. Like, hold up, we got to go to Baal, and then here you go. Iran made a big statue of Baal and lit that joint on fire. They got to go to familiar spirits. They got to go to witches and warlocks and wizards. But it's not working. So they're going to go to war. But this is a war they ain't going to win. Iran ain't no joke. You seen those missiles, how they were hitting Tel Aviv? They made a song about it. Boom, boom, Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv couldn't stop anything. That David slingshot, the Iron Dome, they couldn't stop a gnat from coming into Tel Aviv. Everything that they shot pretty much landed. You know what I mean? They shot down stuff that they wanted them to shoot down. Here's an old missile. Here's an old drone. Shoot that down. And then the hypersonic nuclear missiles follow right up. Boom, boom. They could boom, boom, Tel Aviv. So they're in a war now. They're trying to get in a war that they ain't going to win. You know what I mean? And you got Trump now saying, oh, this is Black History Month, bringing all the coons and all the stepping fetchings and saying, yeah, I'm not racist. Look at all these black folk. And you got the black people up there like, y'all better stop calling him racist. Just because he takes your black excellence out of museums, just because he tries to destroy your history by taking down the slave plaques in Philadelphia and in the Smithsonian, you think he's racist? That he says DEI, everybody got to get fired. EBT, y'all don't need it anyway. All that stuff, right? He says it's not racist, right? Reason why he's saying that, because World War III is right around the corner. All right. So now what is going on with Esau? We about to find out.
New Epstein fallout. Hollywood heavyweight Casey Wasserman is putting his namesake talent agency up for sale over the release of his suggestive email with Ghislaine Maxwell. The sale was first reported by the Wall Street Journal. As CBS's Lee Canary reports from our London bureau, the backlash is spreading. Lee.
Jerika, in the past few days, revelations from the release of the Epstein files have nearly brought down a prime minister, implicated royals, and launched investigators around the world into action.
Jeffrey Epstein.
An international domino effect as millions of documents reveal Epstein's global connections.
Investigations are now underway in at least 10 countries.
From Europe, where the former prime minister of Norway has been charged with gross corruption, to the Gulf, where the CEO of one of the globe's largest companies, DP World, has stepped down. Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem's relationship with Epstein is displayed in photos and hundreds of emails, including one that referenced a torture video.
Mr. Speaker.
And in the UK, pressure on the Prime Minister.
And on Monday, I promised my party and my country there will be change.
Two party members forced to step down in the wake of Epstein's emails. And Andrew Mountbatten Windsor faces new calls to be investigated for possible corruption. The documents show Epstein was an international man of money connected to a global elite. Juliet Bryant says she was in Cape Town when she met Epstein surrounded by power.
I went out one night and a girl approached me and said she was here at the King of America and he was here with Bill Clinton and Kevin Spacey and Chris Tucker.
Bryant did not accuse the other men of wrongdoing.
They left that day, but his office started phoning and arranging me a visa and tickets.
She was 20 years old and said Epstein flew her to New York, then got her to a private jet.
As the airplane took off, he started touching me forcibly in between my legs and I freaked out. I realized this is not a modeling opportunity. I've been kidnapped. And then they whisked me away to the island and then I was stuck there.
Bryant was at Epstein's homes for 2 years and recently secured damages from his estate. In the last few weeks, Juliet, we've seen people like royals, prime ministers, people in positions of power face real consequences. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think it's amazing that they're all being exposed, but I just would like to see them all held accountable.
Outside of the United States, these investigations range from human trafficking to corruption and, Jerika, even espionage.
Lee Canary in London, thank you.
You always know it.
All right, we'll get to that. We'll get to this one as well. But as you can see, people are losing their jobs. Getting Norway, the guy got arrested. America, president of the United States. You know what I'm saying? He's in there over 1 million times. And then the thing about America, they really focus in that you're probably not going to read. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like they're not going to read anyway. You know, we did a great job with them that they'll just listen to anything we say. You know, just watch TV, you know, get your information from the people that are guilty. And they'll just tell you that, well, we didn't do anything anyway. You'll be like, you know what? I don't think you did anything anyway. Let's just go about our lives and pretend like it never happened. Now, that, you know, that defense mechanism that takes place with people is, you know, they want to believe their lies. They want to believe the lie. You know what I'm saying? Once the dissonance kicks in, the cognitive dissonance that everything that they've been taught to was a lie, it's very uncomfortable. You know, now you have to think a different way. You got to move different, you know, you got to not depend on the government. You got to, you know, realize that your vote is just a vote for a talking head that is, you know, it's never going to pan out to anything. You're going to go to war, right? Didn't Trump say he's the peace president? We're about to go to war with Iran, kidnap, you know, Venezuelan president, bombed Nigeria, bombed Sudan, bombed Syria, bombed, I think he bombed Iran. I think I said that already, but threatened to take over Greenland. So it doesn't really matter who you vote for. They're going to do what they want anyway. Like I said, it's a global elite. George Carlin said it best. It's a big club and you ain't in it. You know, so a lot of Americans will rather go with the lie that, well, I don't think it was that bad without actually reading anything themselves. And you know that is what it is. Okay. So with Epstein, let me see if I can find this. It is a drug that it makes people lose their will. Okay, Angel's Trumpet. I'm gonna try to find that. It blocks free will of the victims. So let me see if I can find that right now. A little quick John, you know what I'm saying? Nothing crazy, because I saw a documentary on this plant, right? And let me see. Hold on. And it tells you, like, so put it like this. You can, if somebody gives you this drug, right? This is what they do in other countries. Prostitutes will have cotton in their nose, right? And they'll put the drug in their nose so it doesn't go up to, you know, the cotton stops them from getting drugged themselves. And they'll walk up to whatever Vic they see and like give him a kiss or get real close to him. So he breathes it in. Now they have the drug inside of them. Their free will is gone. They look normal. They're walking around. They're saying hi to people, but they can't say no for the most part. So what they'll do is it'll be a whole team. It's not just one prostitute that did this. It's a team of people. So boom, got the person drugged. How about we go to the ATM and you clear out your bank account? Sure, let's do that. Clears out his bank account. All right, so where are you staying at? Oh, I'm staying up at a condo. I got a condo up the road. Okay, let's go there. Go to the condo, say hi to the doorman. What's going on, Jim? How you doing? Go up there. The person clears out the entire condo, safe, furniture, everything you think of. And the doorman be like, yo, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Have a good one. Here's a tip. So next thing you know, the person will wake up and be like, what the heck just happened? And the doorman was like, yo, you took everything out of your house and you said hi to me and this, that, and the third. So that's what he was using with these women. All right, let me see if I can get something on that. I just picked anything, but let's see if this we'll talk more about it.
A plant which deserves a whole video, but I think it can be also interesting to introduce it quickly. So this plant is called the angel trumpet. It comes from South America, even though we're in Taiwan, and it's good for warm tropical countries. But why it's so famous is because this plant is very magic, very hallucinogenic, but also very dangerous. The borderline between the hallucinogenic potent power and the death lethality is very close. So don't take it. It's really risky. I know some people had some very scary experiences with it. So to be avoided, but extremely pretty in your garden.
All right, it's not necessarily what I wanted, but let me see if I can find something else. I want to talk about the drug behind it. You know, it's saying it's toxic, hallucinogenic, but let me see, the free will. Yeah. Let me try again. Free will. Okay, now this is kind. Okay, this is it. This seems to talk more about what we're talking about.
Newly released documents from the latest batch of the Epstein files are raising troubling new questions about Jeffrey Epstein's interests, including emails which suggest that he may have inquired about highly toxic plants known to produce a drug capable of impairing memory and free will. According to a report from TMZ, Epstein sent an email asking about his trumpet plants at nursery. The reference may appear harmless at first glance. However, Angel's trumpet plants, commonly associated with the Brugmansia and Datura species, are extremely toxic and known to produce a powerful compound called scopolamine. Scopolamine, sometimes referred to as devil's breath, has gained notoriety for its disturbing psychological effects. As reported by AOL, the drug is known to impair memory and decision-making. Severe intoxication may cause paralysis, hallucinations, confusion, rapid heart rate, dry mucous membranes, and in extreme cases, death. The outlet, citing Science Direct, noted that overdoses can trigger significant toxic symptoms affecting the central nervous system. Perhaps most alarming is the claim that scopolamine may not appear on standard toxicology reports. Multiple new reports revealed that emails from 2014 and 2015 showed Epstein not only asking about his trumpet plants, but also receiving an article detailing the effects of scopolamine and the plant it comes from, suggesting that he may have been aware of its properties. The outlets further noted that newly released files include a 2022 victim statement alleging scopolamine use, describing symptoms that reportedly align with the drug's known effects. Often labeled the zombie flower, Angel's trumpet contains tropane alkaloids including scopolamine, atropine, and hyoscyamine. In high doses, these compounds can cause hallucinations, agitation, blurred vision, memory loss, extreme suggestibility, and potentially fatal coma by disrupting the central nervous system. While scopolamine does have limited medical uses, such as treating motion sickness and nausea, its misuse has been widely feared due to its mind-altering capabilities. Jeffrey Epstein died in 2019 while awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking charges. Since his death, court-ordered document releases have continued in waves. Lawmakers voted to require the Department of Justice under President Donald Trump to publicly release the Epstein files, though the DOJ has indicated that no further batches are expected.
All right, so now we have an understanding, right, of what we're dealing with. You know, why would people go to an island? Why can't they remember? Because they were drugged. You know what I'm saying? And that should be, you know, an idea in your mind, like, okay, if somebody doesn't sip a Mickey into my drink, I should be cool. But there's other things they have out there that can drug you. You know, all you gotta do is just breathe it in slightly, and you're very susceptible, and you will hand over your car keys to somebody. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now let's go to let's go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Now, he was interviewed by Bannon, Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon was like, yo, are you the devil? And he started smiling like, why do you say that? You know what I'm saying? So very evil. This is Amalek too, by the way. So Amalek, we already know how evil Amalek can be, and this is a typical Amalekite. Nobody stopped him. Nobody arrested him. He had arrested in Florida, got a sweetheart deal on probation when he was the most prolific sex trafficker on the planet. Okay, so they help each other out. So go ahead, King, you bring it out.
This is the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
So the son of sin, the original can't get right. We have to reveal who is this person. You know what I'm saying? And who is this group of people? We can go down the line of the different groups, different racial, ethnic groups. Who is who? Which nation? But when it comes down to it, of course, yeah, Ishmael, terrible. Ham, terrible to God's chosen people. Terrible group of people, idol worshipers, eat the most disgusting things on the planet. But what it comes down to is Esau is the top. Esau is the border of wickedness. You don't get any further than that. But then you get Amalek, who is also an Edomite, right? Comes from Esau. And they will be the top group that know they're not the real Jews, know that, it's all lies and, just fooling the people. Tel Aviv is Pink City. You got a whole bunch of homosexual and lesbianism during the Pride months and everything like that, and all in between, not following the Torah at all. So they have the nerve to say we're God's chosen people. So Amalek's terrible, Esau's terrible, and let's look at what else they do. Okay, this is all in the files. I recommend, if you can stomach it, to read them for yourself. But it's bad. All right.
You always know it's serious when your boy has to whip out the fancy mic, okay? And I'm going to apologize in advance because you may never look at jerky the same way. I sure as hell don't. So remember how I told you that the devil and his friends use lots of food words constantly in emails in context that made no sense? Pizza party and cream cheese being top ones? Well, there was one food word that these people seemed to obsess over more than any other one, and that was jerky. Now, this could just be because maybe he was a jerky enthusiast and just couldn't get enough of it. I don't know, rich people are weird sometimes. Well, let's read some of these examples together. How about we do that? All right, so this is from Francis Derby to who knows. Good day to you both. Just checking in to see if the jerky situation has been sorted out. Last we spoke, you plan to have rich beef FedExed to Paris. Just so we're all on the same page, the jerky is shelf stable and can travel without refrigeration. And then we have Karina Shuliak asking Francis, J.E. is asking to bring him more beef jerky on Friday. Are you also flying on Friday? If not, I would like to collect it from you and take with me on the plane. Now, we don't know who this is from, but it's to the devil. Jerky will be with me when I get to ISJ. I can come tomorrow and take care of white tuna if you'd like. Now, we don't know who this is from, but to the devil again. Steve needs a 6 to 8 ounce portion of jerky. I gave you all the jerky we had, roughly 2 pounds, and it lasted only half the amount of time it was meant to. I felt it was more important for you to have the jerky, to eat during my time off. My plan is to make a batch before I leave for LSJ, and some of that will then go to Steve and the next to you at LSJ when I arrive. This one is from the devil to Steve Hansen. Hope you are feeling better. Did we analyze the jerky? Now, I'm not a big jerky guy, but do you normally analyze your jerky? Ready for this one? From Francis Derby, subject jerky. Just wanted to touch base about jerky. J.E. said he was going to start eating regular food again. Regular food again. So he might be eating less jerky. That said, he has 6 bags of it in the downstairs freezer for the next trip. Is beef jerky not considered regular food? And do you normally freeze it? I actually have no idea. Delicious lunch, beef jerky. He would get pissed when he didn't have any. Hundreds of these emails about jerky. This I thought was super odd. It's a picture of jerky. It was in the files. The FBI thought it important enough to take a photo of just one piece. But if that's not weird enough, that picture and file is no longer on the DOJ website. They deleted it. It's just jerky. Now, you might be wondering, who is Francis Derby? Because I thought the same thing. Well, not only was he Epstein's personal chef, he also owned an exclusive tiny little restaurant in New York City called The Cannibal. I fuck you not. Francis was even featured on Hallmark's YouTube channel. The video's still up, where he showcases how to make his famous cannibal burger.
We are back with Chef Francis Derby. He's the executive chef of Cannibal.
All right, this is where I lean on you guys. Am I nuts, or are you seeing and reading what I'm seeing and reading?
Hello, Tribune, still on.
Okay, so I think we're all seeing and reading the same thing. Are they talking about jerky? Of course not. Just like they're not talking about pizza. When Hillary Clinton's emails came out, John Podesta and them, I'm going to get a small pizza. I'm coming in from Japan, have a small pizza waiting for me. And they keep talking about it because obviously it's not about pizza. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not about jerky. Let's see, put it in the comments section. Do you think they're talking about actual food, or are they talking about eating jerky like people? His personal chef works at the Cannibal. Like, you can't not see it. You know what I mean? At one point, you gotta be like, all right, I see it. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Just say either food or not food. Okay. And they were talking about pizza also in the Epstein files as well. I mean the E-files, Salakia. Okay. So the son of perdition is being revealed. Nobody's stupid. Everybody can see what's going on. You know what I mean? For people that don't see it, that's the people that are really trying not to. You know what I mean? Trying their best to keep up with the illusion that these are normal people rather than sadistic traffickers of children that eat people. Okay.
It's like if they don't see that, they just lack common sense.
Yeah, exactly. King. You know what I mean? It's pretty much in your face, you know. And right before he was about to go to jail, he ordered gallons of sulfuric acid. I think, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but the acid that burns. You see in the movies where somebody goes in acid at the end of the movie and then, you know, they're all burning and stuff like that. Sulfuric acid, I believe. He ordered, I mean, like a tanker truck of that before he was going to go to jail. If you read the files, he's all about not unaliving people. Uric acid, Slocky. So he's all about unaliving people. You know, he's like, oh, something bad happened. You know, the person's buried in my backyard. And the FBI is like, we need evidence, you know. Sulfuric acid, Khan. So people would be, you know, he would talk about burying people in his backyard and, oh, the foreign girl that I brought in, she didn't make it. But the powers that be, the law enforcement's like, you need evidence to actually look into these things. Like, you know, like that's not evidence. But you know, they protect each other. Okay? They protect each other. But yeah, I'm pretty sure homeboy's eating people. You know what I mean? Esau's eating people. The son of perdition is eating people. Okay? And that's, you know, why call him the devil. That makes sense, right? That will do stuff like that. All right. So now the next one, let's get Ezra. Now we took care of Esau. We understand he's a demon. He uses drugs to, you know, have people susceptible but still be alive. It's called the zombie drug, right? And as you can see, some people don't make it after that. So it's not guaranteed that people survive, and then he either puts them in sulfuric acid or eats them with his personal chef that works at the cannibal. Moving on. Let's go to Ezra in the the Old Testament. The book of Ezra, chapter 6, and let me see what I want. Slakia. 6 and 21. Yeah, Khan, Dwada.
This is the book of Ezra, chapter 6, and verse 21. And the children of Israel, which were come again out of captivity, and all such as had separated themselves until them from the filthiness of the heathen of the land, to seek the Lord Yahweh, God of Israel, did eat.
Khan, we good there. Talks about the Feast of Unleavened Bread, 7 days. But what I wanted from that was the filthiness of the heathen of the land. So the filthiness, the heathen are filthy. We have to separate ourselves from them. As you can see, the fury that the Most High is displaying on top of the heathens, they are not the ones you want to be sitting next to. You don't want to get struck by lightning hanging out with these daggone heathens. Okay? Now, we'll get Leviticus 11 after this video, but this is in the Philippines, right next to China, mainland China. Dirty Moabites, man, dirty Moabites. And the one they eat, what was it? A toxic crab. A toxic crab. It's called like a devil crab. Anything that has devil in it, you might want to leave it alone. You know what I mean? Even a devil's cake, devil's pie, or whatever like that. None of that stuff is healthy for you to begin with, right? But when you get the devil's crab, you're not supposed to eat crabs, period. So now you got a devil's crab. That's toxic. Everything that it eats, it keeps the toxicity in its body. It sits in its muscles. It's like a walking cesspool of bacteria, fungus, disease. And Moabites think this is a good thing to eat until it's not. Let's watch this video because Moab obviously didn't make it. This is an influencer, right? This person is a culinary influencer and ate this on camera, and that was the last thing she ate.
Hello, Tribune. Still on Tribune Jogja. I'm Priska Ruri. Tribune's Filipino authorities have issued a stern warning to the public to be wary of consuming dangerous crustaceans following the tragic death of 51-year-old food influencer Ima Ama Amid. Ima reportedly died after consuming a poisonous crab known as a devil crab whose social media content would according to viral press reports, the incident began on February 4 when Ima and her friends were making video content harvesting various types of shellfish in the mangrove forest.
Jake could kiss her too, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Like they filthy as I don't know what. Jake would be like, yo, that's my number one. You know what I'm saying? She eats toxic crabs. Never mind. Let me keep going.
Surface near home in Puerto Princesa, Palawan. In the video, Ima is seen cooking and eating sea snails and various other marine life mixed with coconut milk. The following day, Ima's health condition deteriorated drastically. Neighbors reported that the victim experienced convulsions when she was rushed to a local clinic. After being referred to the hospital, Ima's lips reportedly turned blue and she lost consciousness before being pronounced dead on February 6. An inspection of the victim's residence found brightly colored shells identified as devil crabs in the trash ay natalasas. These crustaceans, which are commonly found in coral reefs in the Indo-Pacific region, contain a cocktail of highly lethal neurotoxins. The crab's toxins contain witness toxins and tetrodotoxin, the same type of neurotoxin found in pufferfish. This poison can kill humans in just a matter of hours and persists even after the crab has been cooked or reheated. Following the incident, authorities are now monitoring the condition of the victim's friends who ate the dish to anticipate similar symptoms. They also urge Puerto Princesa residents to be extra vigilant and not to try unsafe seafood. That's the latest news regarding the Filipino culinary influencer who died after eating devil crab. Stay tuned for the latest news only on Tribune Jogja Update. I'm Fris.
Devil crab. You know what? I'm good. I can live my life without eating no devil crab, right? But unfortunately, man, like I'm just saying because our brothers would be like, you know, man, yeah, that's you know, I got off like a mail order bride, man. You know what I mean? Passport bro going to the Philippines. Yeah, she put me on to some delicacies, man. Now with passport bros, you going to South America and see our beautiful sisters down there. That's something different. But you go into the Philippines thinking you got yourself a mail order bride. She's so pretty, you know, she's an influencer. Yeah, she's, you know, she's online and all this other stuff, man. She got 1 million followers. She eats dirty crabs out of that dirty ocean over there, man. And she ain't make it. Devil's crab, stay away from it. You've noticed if you watch the Wednesday wake up call pretty regularly, a lot of stuff that has to do with devils, it ends up bad. Like, oh, they went hiking up Devil's Ridge. You know, they were camping up the Devil's Cliff. keep your behind away from anything that said. Somebody named it that. Do you know what I'm saying? Somebody originally named it that, like, yo, don't go over there, man. That's Devil's Ridge. And somebody said, that's a good idea that I'm going to go spend a night over there and do a video and then never be seen again. All right, let's go to Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 9. And the amazing thing is that we can just read the scriptures because the maker of these devil's crabs or whatever tells us don't eat it. You know what I'm saying? Like he told us originally, like off top coming out of Egypt, yo, don't eat that stuff. We didn't have to do an analysis and go to the lab and everything. You can kind of take God's word for it because he's the one that put it on the planet. All right. Go ahead, Ken. You can bring it out.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11 and verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever have fins, whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
Them shall ye eat. Go ahead.
And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
A filthy, nasty, disgusting thing. Don't touch it. Go ahead.
They shall be even an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses in an abomination.
There it is. Don't eat it. She did it for likes and clicks, and that's the last video she made. Well, somebody now they're making videos about her because we're talking about her thousands of miles away because she ate some toxic crabs. All right. Crabs by itself, terrible, disgusting, all types of bacteria. You can't cook the bacteria out of it. And then when you get something called a devil's crab that is extra toxic, has neurotoxins in it, destroy your brain, that's something you definitely want to stay away from. Okay? But crabs, nevertheless, get away from it. Let's continue on. Now, that's Moab. Khan, go ahead, Ken.
She ate that thing with a smile on her face.
Khan. Right? And that's the last picture they have of her. They got to put that in her obituary. She said that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Moab. Remember they had the bad soup? Moab would have some bad soup. Do you know what I'm saying?
And the thing about it is, I'm quite sure she knew that thing was toxic. She probably knew it was toxic and knew it could kill you, but somebody probably told her some dumb, stupid stuff like, well, as long as it's prepared by the right chef, then it ain't toxic. You so stupid. Oh my God, that's dumb.
Right? Like, yeah, just put some coconut milk in there and that just cleared all out. Oh man, the Lord ain't no joke. Like he said, no, don't just eat it. Go on camera and eat it, so everybody can see how dumb you look, and the Israelites can talk about it thousands of miles away.
That's why I feel like Yahweh, just like he said, I created everything good and evil. That means he created jokes too.
Khan. He said, I'm gonna laugh at your calamity. You know.
That's what that means.
God. Yeah, he's definitely saying, you know, at destruction and famine, you shall laugh. He says in Proverbs 1, he's talking about, I'm gonna laugh at your calamity. You know, I'm gonna mock when your fear cometh. She probably, because she knew it was bad. So by the time her stomach started feeling weird, and
she knew shit.
Yeah.
You know how the video on Facebook? It said it was at this moment.
God.
She knew she messed up. It was too late.
Oh man, Moab messed up. Moab boys, he said it started going in convulsions and stuff. She's on the ground shaking. Our neighbors are like, "What happened to you?" She can't even explain it because the neurotoxin is just spreading through her body, and they had to look through the trash can. Like, hold up, she was eating some daggone toxic crabs.
Boy, that is funny just looking at it, man, because you knew better.
Con.
That's what make it funny, because you know she knew better.
That was like the big thing. Like, I'm gonna eat it. You watch. That was it.
That's some adversity you will not overcome.
Nope. Gotta go. It's like a puffer fish. She knew she was wrong.
Yeah.
So this is fury upon the heathens. It's going right down the line. See that from the Ishmael, Ham, Moab, Esau. He's just taking them out. Right now, let's talk about Jesse. All right, Jesse Jackson. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive, Jesse. What did Jesse do? Because people are like, yo, man, Jesse tried. Did he really? Let's get the whole story. All right. Because one thing happened, he ran for president. Jesse was doing all right. And you got to remember that with Margaret Sanger, she said, we got to get a reverend out there. We got to put a reverend there in front of us so people don't think that we're trying to destroy him. Remember she said that? I'm going to get that quote. But while I get that quote, let's get Jeremiah 23 and 11. And I'll get that quote on that.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, and verse 11. For both prophet and priest are profane. Yeah, in my house have I found their wickedness, said the Lord.
Go ahead.
Wherefore, their way shall be unto them as slippery ways in the darkness. They shall be driven on and fall therein, for I will bring evil upon them, even the year of their visitation, saith the Lord.
Okay, now let me see if I can find Margaret Sanger's Reverend quote. Let's see. You know what? Oh, it's slick too. When you look it up, you know what? Here, let me look it up on here, okay? Give me 1 second as I look this up. Margaret Sanger. She says her extermination quote, extermination. Like she wanted to, destroy all of us, right? It's called the Negro Project. Okay, minister says Salakia. Wrong. I was thinking reverend, but same thing, right? Okay. Margaret Sanger wrote in 1939 letter discussing the Negro Project. We do not want. Let me highlight. We not want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population, right? And the minister is the man that can straighten out that idea if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members. This quote is a point of controversy, contributes to the accusation of racism, you think. Sanger also expressed views on eugenics, the pivot pilot of the civilization, and the woman of the new race. Some attributed quotes have been found to be fabricated or attribute. Okay, whatever that means. Did she not say it or did she say it? We all, you know, some quotes, la 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 la. We all know Esau has to protect his bottom line, if you will, protect his racist ambition of getting us out of here. But they said the minister will have to straighten out the more rebellious members. Like, yo, keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. You don't worry about that. Worry about hope. You got to get hope. Grab hope. Soon America's going to be great. Just keep waiting until I die and I'm paid, and I have my son get paid as well. You know what I mean? And you know, funnel money. Son got caught funneling money, but that's where we're at. So let's look at what happened to Jesse. Oh, Slocky, it's the wrong one. Let's see what happened to Jesse as he gets exposed by a brother that was there when Martin Luther King got killed.
We were discussing the Washington movement, Poor People Campaign in Washington. And that afternoon, we were in the meeting, and someone said, Reverend Billy Kyles is outside, and he's upset. And Dr. King said, oh, my God, I forgot to tell y'all. I promised his wife, who's supposed to be a great soul food cooker, we'd have our feet on her table at 5:30. Now it's 5:45, and we sit in the meeting. Dr. King said, everybody rush. And get ready in a hurry. Let's go. So I ran down and got to my room. My key wouldn't open my door for some strange reason. The limousine that had been loaned to us, I opened my door. I could touch the limousine. And finally, I heard the driver tell Dr. King, Dr. King, I advise you get your top coat, because even though I have the car on, it's still chilly. And the last words he said in this world, okay, Jonesy, I'll get my top coat. And I heard this thing say, bow. And I honestly thought someone had thrown a firecracker into the air. And I looked around to rebuke whoever was that stupid. And I heard something, bloop, fell up above my head. And I looked up, and his leg was sticking through the rail. Dr. King only wore one type of sock and one type of shoe. And I knew that was him. I said, oh, my God, they got it. And then I had to run about 50 feet down and back up, and I got to him. And Ralph was holding his head, and Andy was there. And a guy from Africa who had been traveling with us as a newsman from Africa. We found out later on he was working for the CIA.
Keep that in mind, right? Ham, at this point in time, everybody, oh, you know, let's take back to our African roots. So we got an African photographer who's a CIA agent. Let's continue on. Of course, we learn these things in hindsight. All right, to think that the CIA and the FBI are just, they all magically went away and they're actually fighting real crime like Epstein, it will be a gross miscalculation. Let's continue.
No, the FBI, working for the FBI. And he'd taken a lot of pictures of Dr. King, and I grabbed him in and threw that and started choking him, because the bullet hit Dr. King right here, and it went round and cut his medulla oblongata. And I didn't want people to remember Dr. King with half his face shut off. So Andy ran and got a towel, and somehow or another they took one more picture after I made him into that camera, and it shows Dr. King down with a towel on his face. But I'm going to tell you, I was an expert gunner in World War II. When I ran up on that balcony, and I looked from whence that bullet had to come, the distance of that bullet, and just could feel the wind blowing that day, I said, whomever shot that rifle was one of the best in the world. He shot one bullet. And I believe that Dr. King hadn't moved to go back and get his top coat, the bullet would have hit him between the eyes. The bullet hit him right here. But what happened, and then Ralph said, we'll go in and take him on to the hospital. Jose, you get all the staff together. 3 of us saw it, Dr. King, after he was shot. 3 SLC executive staff members. Andy, Abernathy, and Jose Williams. Those are the 3 that saw that body. Now listen to that. So I got in the yard, and I was about to lose my cool, because I was thinking if I could take some molecules out there and make me some guns and kill me some white folks. And one man said, now be cool. You're doing the same thing you promised me you'd never do. And I started crying. And then I heard Jesse Jackson say, he told me, Jesse, take our people onto the mountaintop. And that didn't bother me, even though I know Jesse got nowhere near him. And then Jesse said, I held his head in my hand while he died. And that didn't get to me. And then Jesse said, look at my shirt. And I looked around, sure enough, and Jesse Jackson's shirt was drenched in blood. And I realized the only way Jesse could have gotten that blood was stoop down on that floor at the Lorraine Motel and rake that blood off that floor and put that blood on him. And I went crazy. I really tried to kill Jesse. They grabbed us and all that, but that hurt me so bad. The other thing was, when Abernathy came back, says, no need of prayer, no need of cry, no need of nothing. He is going, it's over with. He's going to glory. And we called the meeting, the staff meeting, and Jesse claimed to have been ill. And Abernathy told him, Jesse, go ahead to the room and relax. Jesse had to have run like hell that room into that airport because he got out of Memphis to Chicago. All us feeling, everybody was still in the motel, cut the televisions on the next morning. That was Jesse Jackson in Chicago with that same bloody shirt on, telling that same lie. I've never respected Jesse since that moment. When they shot Dr. King, a black guy come running around that corner saying, he went that way, he went that way. James Earl Ray no more killed Dr. King, and I killed him. And everybody knew it. He was a patsy set up. And the guy said, went that way, went that way. And said, who went that way? He said, that man ran out that building and dropped the rifle on the sidewalk and jumped in a white Mustang, had a red Alabama tag and took off. Well, hell, I wasn't worried. That's no car to make look like a Mustang, but a Mustang, a white with red Alabama tag. Where's he going? The police have him like that. And I asked that rifle was left on that sidewalk. That was the rifle that James Earl Ray had purchased, but that was
not since fictional alien invaders did.
Sloppy. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Okay, let's get, matter of fact, I want to put another video on, if you can bear with me. And this is regarding somebody else that was there, right? That Dick Gregory, here we go. Dick Gregory puts out there that they set him up. You know what I mean? They said one person said anybody that didn't have a tie, I believe, was in on it. Everybody that had a tie, don't shoot. Anybody that didn't have a tie, then they're fair game, right? I believe that's the way it went. Who said that? William Pepper, I think his name was, his lawyer, right, that wrote a book about Martin Luther King. Dr. Umar brought that out. Slakia. All right, so this is the somebody else that was up there that got out the way. I'll let you hear it. So it's pretty much like, yo, if he gets out the way, you got the movement. All right, now you can do whatever you want with it. You're gonna be getting the money and everything like that, the fame. You can run for president, yada yada yada. And that's what happened. Okay.
But what you're fixing to witness now is the man who came by to get King to take him to dinner. And 30 years later at a press conference, he slipped because God do baffle your mind sometimes.
So this is the guy that he said, "Oh, come on, my wife's cooking. Come on, let's go." Right?
You look.
Some of the activities are geared especially for the young who did not have a chance to get the feel or to know what the civil rights movement actually was about. Even as they marched, now they could have stopped in a hotel, but when you think about marching from Memphis to Jackson or Jackson to Memphis, there were no hotels. You stayed in churches, you stayed in people's homes, and that's how we got over. That's how we got through. The struggle was a spiritual struggle. You couldn't pay people to do what we had to do. You couldn't pay people to stand before mad dogs and fire hoses and billy clubs and cattle prods. It was strictly a spiritual and moral movement. So we wanted that dimension to be in the pilgrimage to Memphis. We will revisit the mountaintop speech site. That's the Mason's Temple, where Dr. King made his last address, which he almost didn't make, because the night that we were having that rally, there were tornado warnings, and he was behind on the Poor People's Campaign. And he said, you guys go on over and have the rally. I'm going to stay at the motel and work on the Poor People's Campaign. When we got there and Dr. Abernathy walked in and Jesse Jackson walked in and I walked in and others, people started clapping because they thought Martin was behind us. And so Ralph's preacher said to him, this is not our crowd. And he went to the phone and called Dr. King. And any of the marches that we had in those days, you have an opportunity to bring the children and bring the family and march with us. And when I finished sharing with them the last hour of Dr. King's life, no hurry, but that gave me the wonderful privilege of spending the last hour on earth. 3 preachers in a room, Abernathy, King, and Kyle. And we spent that last hour together in room 306 at the Lorraine Motel. The press is always curious, and writers, what went on? What did you talk about? I say, we just talk preacher talk. What preachers talk about when they get together.
Y'all pay real attention to what you're fixing to hear now.
About 5:45, we walked on the balcony, and he was talking to people in the courtyard. He stood here and I stood there. Only as I moved away, so we could have a clear shot, the shot rang out.
Thank you.
I turned around and then knocked him back on the balcony.
Listen. Oh. Wait, listen. Listen. 30 years later, this brother never realized he would slip and stay there.
Right? So he said that assassination of Martin Luther King was, a huge deal and, very well orchestrated by, of course, the United States government, CIA, FBI, and people on the inside. Okay. Apparently Jesse being one of them. All right. Well, Jesse's no longer here. He's going to have to answer for his crimes in the next life. Okay. Let's talk about Obama. All right. So 2/3 got them out the way. Let's talk about Obama. He came out of his mouth and said that aliens are real. It caused a huge uproar. Right. And people ended up saying, like he had to backtrack. Like, I didn't mean that. What I meant was that, it's such a vast universe that sure thing. But what it comes down to is last week, Billy English said that America is stolen ground. Obama, in a roundabout way, says God is real, right? Because when they say aliens, it's really the angels. You know what I mean? They understand that. Tim Burchett, I bring him up all the time. He said through the skiffs and, the back room conversations they have amongst each other that we all know what they are. It's Ezekiel's wheel. We get that, So now Obama exposing that they do exist is another step to America's destruction, Babylon's destruction. Let's get Joel chapter 3 and verse 3. So they come out their mouth, you know what I mean? There's no room for, I didn't know that, or, and that's one thing Esau says, just don't admit anything. Trump's lawyer, his mob lawyer, taught him that. Like, whatever you do, you be dead wrong. It's on camera. 100 people done seen you. This, that, and the third. Never admit fault. Okay, and that's how Esau lives by. That he never did anything wrong. You know, that's why he's sitting there seeing brothers outside at camp. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Slavery? I don't know anything about slavery. I didn't know any slaves. Me? You know what I mean? They'll never admit fault. But now we see in the time period we're living in that the Most High is allowing them to speak freely, and that's going to be ultimately part of their destruction. Go ahead, King. You could bring it out. John, you there?
My bad. This is the book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink.
So this is, of course, using us for currency. Go ahead, read verse 4.
Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre, and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head.
So, and you know, Barak being a Hamite, you know what I'm saying, he played his part as far as his ancestry in our destruction. Still, even as being the president, he led with the assumption, oh, we're the same people. He knew we weren't the same people. That's why he did things for the continent of Africa. And the things he did for us was bring upon homosexuality, make that normal amongst our community and accept it, if you will, on a global scale from the president of the United States. He even had the White House lit up with all the colors of the quote unquote pride flag. And also with food, he brought in the whole bioengineered food. That was him. The lobbies were on him, like, yo, we want to sell fake food, fake salmon, you know, Frankenstein salmon, and, you know, spliced with salamanders and all this abominable stuff. You know what I'm saying? That was Barack Obama. And his wife said, we got to, you know, run 60 minutes, or, you know, move 60 minutes a day, which I don't have a problem with, right? But then she started cutting portions. If you worked or were in school at that time, worked in like a facility, like a school or a prison or whatever, you end either one, you notice the significant cut in portions at the schools, prisons, and, you know, by elderly homes and stuff like that. That's what his wife did, right? So pretty much, damn, they're starving the kids, you know what I'm saying? So, or the people that were locked up. So he has his part that he played in our community, all right? And it says, if you recompense me, I'm going to send that recompense right on your own head. Okay, let's get Jeremiah 19 and verse 18. But before that, we're going to watch this video regarding Barack Hussein Obama's slip of the tongue, if you will.
Not since fictional alien invaders did this to the White House in the blockbuster Independence Day. As a U.S. president's views on extraterrestrial life on as Barack Obama's did this weekend, he was asked on a podcast, "Are aliens real?"
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in what is it?
Area 51.
Area 51. There's no underground facility, unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the president of the United States.
That answer quickly generating 26 million views online and lots of follow-up questions.
Is this something that we should be concerned about?
Back in 2007, candidate Obama sounded far less certain about life beyond Earth.
I don't know, and I don't presume to know.
What was the first question you wanted answered when you became president?
Where are the aliens?
Where are the aliens?
But the former president, who has long declared himself a fan of Star Trek's highly logical alien Spock, quickly clarifying, "I saw no evidence during my presidency that extraterrestrials have made contact with us." Really? So the truth, it seems, may still be out there. But Barack Obama, just like the rest of us, doesn't know it for sure. Really.
And Garrett Haake joins us tonight from the White House. So, Garrett, we got a sense of what the former president had to say about aliens, but what about President Trump? Has he sort of dabbled in these UFO waters?
He's dabbled and he's been asked about it repeatedly, Tom, over the years, and this is another issue on which these two presidents disagree. President Trump, as recently as during the campaign, was asked about UFOs and aliens. He said he's seen lots of evidence, but he himself is not a believer. And for what it's worth, there is actually pretty good polling on this, Tom, but 65% of Americans say they believe in some capacity that we are not alone out there.
We thank you for watching. And
All right, so let's get that in Jeremiah 16, verse 18. He done opened his mouth, and what's the Lord going to do with it? You know what I mean?
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 16, verse 18. And first I will recompense their iniquity and their sin double, because they have defiled my land. They have filled mine inheritance with the carcasses of their detestable and abominable things. Abominable things.
Con. Read on.
O Lord, my strength and my fortress and my refuge, in the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit.
So the lies that America has been passing off as truth for 70 years, that there's no such thing as so-called UFOs, no such thing as chariots, there's nobody in them, we're all alone here. That, of course, is a lie. You know what I'm saying? And now we're seeing that people are waking up to that. Even the president of the United States said that. So now you can see destruction is on its way. It's here. Fury is unleashed upon the heathens. It's only going to get worse. To the point where they're gonna be grabbing you at your hem, you're grabbing your fringes, like, yo, come, let me come with you. I heard God is with you. You see what happened to my neighbor down the street? You see what happened to such and such? You see what happened? You know what I mean? Like, they're gonna be scared to death because it's not going to stop. It's only going to get worse. And we can talk about these things every Wednesday. You know what I mean? We'll see. It might be more to do with not hurricanes, possibly, you never know. Hurricanes, earthquakes, sinkholes, that type of destruction that the Most High will unleash upon the earth. But either way, we're gonna have a lot to talk about every Wednesday because it's only going to get worse. Now, let's go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 29. We always like to leave on a positive note of health and wellness, some small things we can do to heighten our health, our wellness, our mind, body, and soul, our focus, going to be kings, crowned, daughters of Zion, carried everywhere, So with that in mind, let's eat like kings, and small, subtle changes. It doesn't have to be huge, It's small, subtle changes until it's your lifestyle. Everything that Esau has taught us to, have fast food and, and do this and do that brought down our body, we can combat that. Okay. Go ahead, King, you can bring it out.
Yahweh said, this is Genesis chapter 1 and verse 29. And Yahweh said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of the earth, of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat.
So we're going to talk about this next clip. This next story is about chia seeds. You know what I'm saying? Chia seeds, little seeds, you know what I'm saying? And the huge benefits of them. You're going to talk about how you can, you put them in smoothies. Some people put them on a salad or whatever, but incorporating them into your diet is a game changer. All right. So let's get that.
You are going to love this. I'm just putting these chia seeds in right now. Okay, it's been about 30 seconds, give or take. These chia seeds right in here has been in here about 5 minutes. And these chia seeds over here has been in here for 10 minutes. Look how thick this is. And obviously, the longer you leave chia seeds in water, the more it swells. It can swell up to 12 times the size of what the chia seed is. Now look how small these chia seeds are. But this is 1 tablespoon in here. You can see here, that's what we just put in. Here's 1 tablespoon. Look how much thicker that is, almost half the glass, over half the glass. And look at this guy right here. Look how thick this is. The longer we leave chia seeds in our gut, the more it swells, the more satiety you have, the better digestion when it comes to our food, because this soluble fiber feeds our probiotics. Let me explain. When we eat this, it doesn't get digested in our small intestine. We don't have the enzymes. It makes its way to the large intestine, and it feeds those probiotics, because soluble fiber is like a prebiotic. And that prebiotic feeds the probiotics to keep the colonocytes, the cells in our colon, healthy, preventing colon cancer. It works where it secretes those short-chain fatty acids given off by those probiotics, secretes butyrate. And that butyrate does wonderful things for our system in reducing inflammation through our entire organs, as well as bumping up that immune system. And our objective here today is that this has so many medicinal healing properties, because we're going to supplement cayenne pepper, ginger, cinnamon, little lemon, little honey if you want. But this is going to go in here. We're going to drink this about 10 minutes before our meals. Why? It's going to give you satiety. It's going to help your digestion. It's going to feed your probiotics. It's going to sustain your normal sugar, glucose levels. It's going to make you more insulin sensitive. It's going to give you more, it's going to take away inflammation throughout your system. It's going to work as a thermogenic fat burner. Oh, wow, this is beautiful. But I wanted you to have the idea of what happens with these chia seeds, because imagine these chia seeds filling up to 12 times the size. And as it fills up, you're going to eat less. You're going to have better digestion. You're going to have better peristalsis, where you're not going to have all that excessive food sitting in your gut. It's going to help you excrete it to get rid of constipation. So this is the purpose, that, again, we want to use this about 10 minutes before our first meal. You can do it several times a day. A couple of things I want to mention here are ginger. We know ginger is great for digestion. It's great for nausea. It's a great anti-inflammatory. It's got powerful antioxidants. It actually has a thermogenic burner. It works with the adipocytes when it comes to fat burning. Then we have our cinnamon. We know cinnamon is great for postprandial sugars, helps sustain normal insulin levels, makes you more insulin sensitive. I love the taste of cinnamon. It's got a really sweet taste. It has great anti-inflammatory properties, which is very, very healing. And the cayenne pepper is one of my favorite. This is great for your blood pressure. This increases nitric oxide in the vessels. It causes vasodilation. Really good for the endothelial tissue within the blood vessels. This is an anti-inflammatory, and again, a great thermogenic metabolic booster. And honey, antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. It's got lots of great minerals, nutrients, vitamins. We'll use a little bit of this. And our lemon is a great cleanser. Our liver, lymphatic system, great for digestion, helps the enzymes in our digestive system. So what do? Very simple. After we wait about 10 minutes, you can put this at any time. We go like a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of our ginger. We would use just a few dashes of our cayenne. And if it's too spicy for you, just use 1 little dash because it really makes that good zing. It's really good for you. And a little bit of honey or your natural sweetener. A little honey, I think, is beautiful. You don't need a lot. And you can use about a 1/4 of a lemon, a little squeeze in there. It's a great cleanser as well. So the purpose of this video is I want you to understand. Look how this is already thickening up already after 5-6 minutes. This guy over here, this would be closer to probably like 15 minutes now. And this guy over here is going to be closer to 20 minutes. And look how nice and thick this is. Look how, now understand that this is just a tablespoon. Look at all this. Now imagine, here's a tablespoon right here. Look at the difference. This 1 little tablespoon, okay? That's a tablespoon. But look what it does. This is what happens in your gut. This is what helps heal your body. This is what gives you satiety. If you're looking to lose weight, this is great. You're not going to eat as much. And again, this is going to do the job. It's going to cleanse. It's going to help your sugar level. It's going to make you more insulin sensitive. It's going to make you less insulin resistant. It's going to give you lots of energy. You're not going to get that spiking and that down surge where you're going to feel that tiredness, where you're going to feel sleepy. You can have this twice a day. Very, very healthy. And all you need is a tablespoon. You don't need anything more. Look how thick this is. And what you do is you put it in, once you sweeten it up, and you drink it down, wait about 10 minutes, and you're ready to rock and roll because this is going to be a lifesaver for so many of you. I promise you, this is all healthy, got great nutrients in there. The medicinal properties are excellent. I hope that you can use this, try it. I challenge you. And then you'll see in weeks ahead those great results. You're just going to see changes in your physiology. You're going to start losing weight. You're going to start sleeping better. Your blood sugar is going to be neutral, more balanced. And if you are pre-diabetic or even insulin resistance, this can help reverse that insulin resistance. It's going to take stress off the pancreas. It's going to help your blood pressure and help your cardiovascular system. Obviously, I've said a lot, and I mean it. It will help you. Please share this with a friend, a loved one, someone that you think that can benefit from this. Leave your comments below. I will look at them. I'm very excited to see the results you're going to have in the near future. And most important, make it a great day.
Yeah, I'm saying true story. Chia seeds, check them out. You get them at be a health food store. Do you know what I mean? You can probably get them in the grocery store. I would recommend organic, just off the strength of I don't know what else they spray on these things. You know what I'm saying? But it's very healthy. You know what I'm saying? Probably for like $10 you can get some, and it lasts you. You know, you're not gonna. You said 1 tablespoon. You'll keep it going. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, I ran out of it in a week. You put them in smoothies, like he said. You can put them in water and, put the other, like some ginger, cayenne pepper, lemon, honey. And let me know the results. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. All right. So, boom, fury upon the heathen. It's only going to get worse while we get better, while we get stronger, while we get smarter, while we get more focused, while we get more together, while we build up our community. They're going to continue to fall. They're going to fall and we are going to rise. They are falling and we are rising. It's like a somersault. You know what I'm saying? It's like a somersault. And we're going to keep it moving in the right direction, giving all praise, honor to you, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Mashiach Yahushai, reading our Bible, getting into these scriptures, getting into these feast days, preparing for Passover, get your dues in, get your outfit ready, get your, get your mind right more than anything. You know what I'm saying? Going to the Passover season, we already know how Passover seasons can go. You know, it can get the Most High be judging. Okay, so we don't want to get into that judgment. So let's focus in. And Kwame Yashala, we got next. Shalom.
I know who I am today. You can't lie to me no more. I'm a child of the Most High. And you the devil, the Bible speaks of. Set my people free. Yeah. Let them go. Let them go. Set my people free. Let them go. Let them go. Tell you the truth, this ain't living. Cause every time we step outside, it's attempted suicide. Drive-bys and homicide. It's the everyday norm. Welcome to the eye of the storm. As we at war from the day we born to the day we die. Surrounded in influence, drowning in these lies. From these white guys with these evil eyes towards our own kind, committing genocide. Sliding down the block. Then